grab a beer, Heather.
Suspecting shower is optional.
Look at all my notes. Guess how many pages?
I don't know, but I'm feeling like a real Debbie Downer today, so I'm going to need you to bring the energy for the group.
Okay, I'm going to do my best. I'm really going to do my best. Mostly, I mean, sometimes the best that I can do is just laugh when people are sad. And, like, tragedy is comedy. You know that, right? So, like, when people are just sad, I just laugh about it. And then we turn it all around. It becomes a comedy show.
Okay. I have a critique of myself from last episode.
Oh, why?
When I drink and read, you almost need subtitles to listen to me. I can't handle it. I'm like, oh, you dumb bitch.
Oh, I didn't know.
I was like,
that.
suspiciously. I was like, maybe it's just my hearing. I don't know.
Okay, I'll work on the subtitles.
I have a pain right here, Jessica. And I think that's the start of a second part of the spiral. So I did yoga before I cried. Mm-hmm. I also started sweating down my back when I got out of the shower. Mm-hmm. And I did an everything shower. And then I started to sweat. And then
Yeah, everything showers are a lot of work. That would do that. I would cry after an everything shower, too.
And my rib, like, something hurts, like, right in my rib. Welcome to StirredUp. I'm Heather.
I'm Jessica.
It's Saturday, and we're fucking depressed.
But we can do it.
We can do it. I have a couple things to talk to you about.
Okay.
Have you watched the Cat Williams special?
No.
You don't watch anything I tell you to watch. It's so fucking annoying. I cannot even tell you.
I don't even think you told me to watch this. I don't like.
Did you
telepath.
watch the fucking lady?
No, I didn't know what you were talking about. I had time to watch that too, and I didn't understand.
She was a nurse. She was a NICU nurse in England.
What was it about? On Netflix, you said?
Yeah, I think so.
I really want to watch I started the Tyra doc.
Oh, I watched that too. She's a major twat waffle. She's awful.
I'm only like 30 minutes in.
I'm sorry, but I've canceled Tyra Banks.
Okay.
Canceled.
Tell
This will be
me
the
more.
last you'll hear me about her.
Can you talk
She
about
literally fucked over the people who've been her friend, who've like taken care of her since she was 16. I think she isn't actually a narcissist. Even just wait, just watch it. Just watch it. Watch it.
Speaking of narcissist, do we overuse the word narcissist just to say like someone's a dick, or like do you really think she's clinically only cares about herself and does not have the actual ability to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just curious.
Yes. Denial.
Yeah.
Denial, narcissistic deniability. I don't know. Denial, narcissist, doesn't care.
Yeah, doesn't care.
Like she's got to be in her 50s at this point.
Yes.
Alexa, how old is Tyra Banks?
I would say 58.
I gotta know. 52.
Ooh.
So Mr. J,
Yeah.
he taught her how to walk when she was 16.
Yeah.
Went all the way through Project Runway with her. Ended very badly.
So she was in Project Runway?
Yeah, she started it. It was her idea.
Oh, yeah. America's Next Top Model.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
America's Next Top Model.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He since has had serious medical issues. So when you watch it like reveals him at the very end, like you don't know.
Oh.
And then the shot pans and you're like, oh, fuck. And she's yet to even visit him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, not a good person. Not a good person.
Ooh.
Not a good person. Not a good person. And everyone from the friends who were supposed to be her friends, the oldest, the newest, the most recent friends, all the way to all of the young women. I mean, they were 17, 18 years old.
Do you think she was the problem, or do you think other people that she had as her team were more of the problem and that she just enabled? Like, how?
I think she was a big part of the problem.
Yeah, like she was the source of it all. Mm-hmm. And then everybody else just carried on that tone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The way the girls were talked to, the age, it was just the industry. I mean, they blacked face. They had white girls dressed as Asians, Asians dressed as black people, white people. Like, I mean, dental work where people's teeth are ripped out. Like, I mean, just.
So I also
too
still
skinny
believe.
weigh-ins. I mean, just.
I also still believe that the fashion industry.
One girl had bald spots in her head because they sent her to a hairstylist who didn't know, and then she was like upset. Like they didn't like a show or like models would not have at least somebody who understood how to do her type of hair. And like Tyra basically told her like just I don't know. She ain't good.
Do you think that some aspects of the industry are still the same? Like, I want to know what's changed and what hasn't.
I think the fashion industry can actually go fuck itself. I've been thinking about that a little bit with like even the Kardashians. Like, what is your waste profile? Like, they waste so much water, so much material. We've looked at this. I mean, we looked at it, whether it's branding, whether it's how you treat people, whether it's Banana or whatever, Abercrombie and Fitch, or Brandy Melville, or where we're dumping our stuff on the coasts of oceans and India, like, or how any brand pays for the most part people. Right. I think the fashion industry is probably the most
unethical industries in the world,
and also like truly like they're not even starting. Like
they're not even trying.
No, they don't give a fuck. And I think it's a little excessive. And I think if I look back at even like Kim Kardashian, like all the things she did for the love of fashion and using her body, like so much. It's an industry, I guess, but to me,
I kind of want to do an episode that like goes back to the fashion industry again in a different way. Because we did brands. Yeah. That was on my list that I sent you this week was like, I kind of do. One of the weird questions I have is like the couture, super high-end fashion can only attract like a small percentage of any number of people in the world. So like, how do they really think about how they're creating? Do they really think about like a couple of people in mind? And like the process of releasing something, you bring in people on an invite only list and like show just the whole experience is a completely different experience than anybody else gets. And then vintage and how is it stored and how do they transfer hands? It's not on eBay. Like, I just have a lot of curiosity about it.
Well, the luxury market, we need to do some research around the luxury market.
Yeah. Okay. Luxury. Yeah.
Did you see Prince Andrew in his arrest photo in the back of the car?
I did not see the photo.
Jessica!
No, Heather, I'm telling you, the world is like, makes me really sad. So I just haven't seen a lot of stuff.
I want to show you. Okay, I'll show you something to make you laugh then. Prince Andrew arrest photo. Dude looks scared. He should be.
I was going to say, I think he does. He should be scared. Oh, yeah. Wow. God. Oh, no. They really picked the worst one, too. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup. I wouldn't have no idea what he looked like.
What about the USA hockey team? They won gold. Yeah, the girls. So good.
And was it the first? I heard hockey, and it might have been girls, was the first time that U.S. had ever beat Canada ever in hockey. I don't know if it was girls or boys.
Well, it couldn't be boys because the boys won the 80-something Olympics. That was the show Miracle. Okay. Do you believe in miracles?
Okay, so then the girls.
So then they would have had to beat Canada at some point to win the gold. So gotta be the girls. Gotta be the girls.
Gotta be the girls. That's how they got gold. Okay, so when you're
those girls are badass.
When you're doing a competition like that, like hockey, is it like a tournament to get gold? Like
yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yep. Okay. 100%. Yep.
So that's kind of a lot of work. So some people just have to go down a hill once.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, a lot of times, like in skiing, you get like 3 runs or 2 runs, like best of 3.
Okay, so still 3 times versus like probably 8 games they probably had to play.
Yeah, but normally you're more one than more event. You know, if you're doing this slalom, you could be doing again, you're right. I think the math
sounds like a lot of work. I just feel like
I think no matter what you're doing, it's a lot of fucking work.
That's a good point. I did not like to see the people who are skiing uphill going faster than I can run downhill.
Didn't you see the memes about cross country skiing? Like, anybody who'd want to do that for fun is wild.
Psychotic. It's fucked up in the brain.
Needed to be on some of the meds, 100%.
Have you been watching a lot of the Olympics?
Only at B-Dubs a little bit. Yeah. But we did
What's your B-Dubs schedule these days? How often do you go there?
I was there 4 times this week.
Okay. Oh my God.
But I've been eating salads because I need to lose some of my stomach weight.
We had parent-teacher conferences on Thursday.
Oh,
and so we made it a date out of it. Yeah, our teacher was nice and smiled, and it was strange. That was unexpected. But it went pretty well.
Good.
We still got like, Peyton does not listen, and she does not follow instruction. And I just decided that this is how that teacher tells all parents the same thing, and it's a form of crowd control. Like, I think it's not an actual thing. That's what I decided.
Because you think she listens, and you think she...
I know she doesn't listen sometimes, but like,
so why that choice?
Also,
at some point she's
the crazy amount of things that she does listen to, like, and they're 5 or 6, and I don't know. I just find it like so odd to just
I think it's weird to have a parent-teacher conference for like a baby. Like to me, they're still like, I guess you have to.
That kind of feedback, like there's no context to which, it's just like she does not take instruction. And I think that's so out of character and unexpected because that is the last thing.
Right.
Like we also got a paper back where she had like colored the number 20 and then she was supposed to color in 20 different like little objects at the bottom. And she clearly spent so much time making the
She didn't have enough time.
Yeah, so she just went like scribbled into the bottom. And the note that the teacher sent back was that this is not kindergarten coloring with a sad face. Like, this is so...
That's what I mean. So when she tells you your kid don't let this, I'm like, okay, you fucking twat waffle.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. Sad face.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in you. Well, fuck you better be.
I know. But Peyton really likes her, so that's all that matters to me. It
Yeah.
really is. Like, it's just kindergarten. I'm just not getting emotionally invested. This is part of the life experience that kids are going to go through. So when Peyton sees that, she's...
Yeah, it's good she likes her. Liv's always hated all of her teachers. Couldn't handle it, so...
Peyton,
I think that's half the battle. What are you guys doing tonight?
I don't know. Matt made meatballs. That's about all I know. This was my whole plan today. Like, my life revolves around...
no plans. I told my nephew he's spending the night. We're either going to go to Crumble in the Goodwill tonight, which is literally in my backyard. Mm-hmm. Literally. Like, in the summer we'd walk, or we'll go tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But I watched 6 hours of His and Hers this morning. Yeah. And it was like watching the Crawdads. It's good. Oh, my God. It's good. It's a good, easy, fold laundry, drink the wine, not get worked up.
Yeah.
Like, but you're invested.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's just sort of like a...
when we were at my dad's last night, he told me that he wants to watch my kids. Isn't this the craziest thing you've ever heard?
Okay, so do you remember on the podcast I asked you about that?
I did, and we aired it.
You're like, not sure.
So I decided, like...
Can you pick Peyton up from school some days? My dad used to love that part.
So I'm thinking...
So it's a couple hours after school, 3 to 5, have a snack with Papa, right around on the things.
I already really have her in after-school care, so it's not really, like... that big of a deal right now, and he's about to go into a hip surgery, so now is not really the right time. He needs to be, we've got like probably 16 weeks into before but this summer, so I'm planning to sign her up for summer camps when I can. In the next couple of weeks I'll be able to register for summer camps, but most of the camps are like
half days.
If they are full days, it's still 9:30 to 4. So I'm thinking if I can just run over to my dad's, drop her off for an hour even before camp, or like for the morning, and he can take her to the center Chippewa Nature Center or wherever the camp is. And then I have like a handful of teenagers available for babysitting, but like nobody wants to be like the primary babysitter all summer. I think that's just too much to ask anybody. So my thought was, okay, if I can weave in my dad a little bit, I'm sure I can lean on my mom a little bit. And I've got like, let's say 3 to 4 babysitters who I can do like a week at a time, maybe. Mm-hmm. I think I've got it. What do you think?
I think you got it figured out.
I'm so proud of myself.
My kids did
and then I started to think about summer. So that's how you have to do this, Heather. Think of like schedule a summer trip. Did you go to Miami yet?
No, we're supposed to go. We're not going. We're supposed to go on Wednesday, and we're not going. It's so upsetting.
That's why you're depressed. You need sun in Miami. Would have done that.
That's why I started to cry too. Yeah. And I had to put my swimsuit on, and if I don't lose.
Either just buy another fucking swimsuit.
I like the ones I bought.
I don't
bought
care.
Them from L-Space. They're like $200.
It's becoming a problem.
Oh, I want to have a shout out. Shout out to everyone who supported the House of Leviana. I've sold so many throw pillows. I have so many DMs. Please look for my vintage headbands from 19.
How do we find them?
They're at Picket Fence Mercantile in Sanford, in the strip mall on the end of the gun shop, the porn shop, the homeopathic bee shop. I'm not kidding you. Stirring it the fuck up out there west of 30, motherfucker. It's not quite west of 30. It's almost west of 30. It's like 1/4 of a mile east of 30. Uh-huh. But right now I've got just a couple pillows left. I made a couple more. Thank you so much for everyone who has purchased them.
Are they open on Sunday?
They're not. Oh, okay. They're open like Tuesday through Saturday, like 11 to 3, okay. 11 to 4-ish. So I
should have made it today.
Yeah, I added another denim one in there. It's super cute. So shout out to everyone who went there. I'm working on about 25 1950s ribbon top knot headbands. Uh-huh. And then I made about 150 top knot really cute patterned.
So are you
Headbands.
watching all your shows while you're
Yes.
making these? Okay, then.
Mm-hmm. And I'm doing laundry. Like you're saying, your editing's bringing you joy.
Yeah.
That's sort of what, like, I have my notebook for art. So
yeah,
like,
I was just trying to do the math.
like,
I could not figure out how you were
okay, you know,
consuming all the shows that you got to consume recently.
So I put my sewing machine in front of my TV.
Uh-huh.
And I watch a lot of YouTube. So I watched a lot of YouTube videos. Like I did even my StirredUp research.
Yeah.
So I was watching my Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Commercials on YouTube's and researching things. And I had my notebook. I was writing it, sewing, drinking wine, California.
Living the absolute dream.
Living the best life. And
your tariff-free wine. Oh, speaking of the tariffs, did you hear?
I saw an email.
It's unconstitutional. So want to know what's really lighting me up today? They're going to, the ruling said that the companies who sold the products that got charged the tariffs are going to get paid the $18 trillion that Trump keeps saying that they collected in tariffs, and that the ruling is saying that that money has to go back. But they're sending it to the companies, and who the fuck paid for the tariffs? Not the companies. They did not consume that. I'm just a little disappointed. Is that the word of the day?
Are you fucking shocked?
No. But see, that's what's lighting me up. I can't even tolerate it all.
Quince. How is Fresh Set doing?
No matter what, you have to have always on advertising. You have to be a content machine. I think 50% of your operations of running a brand like that is content, influencers, and the machine. And then the other half is just shipping stuff out the door, which is totally fine. But when I realized I had some learning curves, I had my first burst of it was so exciting. I loved it. Had some learning curves, pulled back, kind of stopped promoting it and talking about it, fix my stuff that I need to fix. And now I'm trying to build up a little bit of content so that I'm not going in bursts of content, sales, and then gaps.
That's where I'm at with House of Leviana. Mm-hmm. I'm creating the actual product. And then it's okay, I'm taking photos while I create it. Mm-hmm. But then there's big gaps in my content post because I'm trying to create another new package. Yeah. The first package was for the first launch.
Yeah. And I want to be, I know that I also need to reuse content. So my plan is, how can I get basically a month, and I'm going on vacation at the end of March. So my thought kind of was experiment with some advertising on Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, and just see kind of what works a little bit on a small
different
scale.
Content styles on each platform.
Yep,
different
messaging,
types.
And do it on a small scale right now, so that as I'm making content, I'm not making a whole bunch of content that ultimately doesn't work. A lot of that is also what I'm seeing that is working for, especially this category, is a lot of graphic design heavy things. You want to get the product and the messaging out there. It's not as much lifestyle that really works with this. It's very product forward, but it needs to be, it ends up looking very graphic design heavy. So that I went on this whole thing last weekend of okay, I have this product. I'm going to take some shots, but it's going to be sitting on a weight. And then how do I enhance the visual?
What if you had a model holding it?
Yeah, probably. I haven't got there yet. And I also think that the apps, you can do that. You can just take the product and then
and show people. What if we did a little content shoot?
So every morning,
at my house,
morning when I wake up, I'm just just popping up my camera, but it's always me, which is okay. But yeah, I do, all of that is something that over the course of this year, I'm going to have to be a little bit. What I really want is, how do I get 5 influencers, micro influencers, people who have a following of in the hundreds of thousands or less, high teens, right? 80,000 followers, something like that. And if I get 5 of those, and part of the deal is also in content creation that I can use from the brand itself, that's how Comfort did it. So I feel like there's a buildup, put it out there into the world, which is great, and I can sustain some things right now, and there's some moderate progress. But
the only other thing that I have really to bitch about is, or I have a little bit of a grievance about.
I love when she starts and she can't even finish it. Can't even get it out. She's oh. Tried to promote some of our shorts I promoted 5 of them so that I could narrow it down to 1 or 2 that were successful. Mm-hmm. And a couple got declined because they were vulgar, or it was rude content. I can't remember what they called it.
Okay. Fuck you, YouTube. We'll start advertising on Cinemax.
And we got age restricted on 2 posts because of this age content. I can't remember. I'll show you when we get.
Well, maybe then my kids' friends won't see it, and then I won't have a hard time anymore. 18. Maybe they fucking did us a favor.
I think the world's getting so sensitive. Just 2 moms, like, doing what moms do. Come on.
We're women. If we were men, they would have been like...
You know what, honestly? That's why I keep thinking, like, this is what people...
The amount of bad behavior, that's what I want to bitch about, that I have seen out of men in their 30s and 40s. Like, I know they don't feel... I do feel bad about young men, and Cat Williams talks about this in this special. Young black men, white men, like, any men in general, like, they've went through a hard... 18 to 25, 30, like, they've really... A lot of them taking it in the ringer, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a mental health epidemic, and I think still being raised where it's not as acceptable to share your feelings, or you don't have the support network, and you do very much feel alone. I think I don't want to be harsh on men because I love men. But just what's happening in my life, I'm seeing a lot of grown men in their late 40s and 50s with just behavior that wouldn't have been tolerated by my dad if I acted that way when I was like 16.
Yeah.
And you're still grown ass people rolling around acting like that.
Yeah.
And it's like fucking infuriating. And then you creep into my fucking inner circle.
Yeah.
So that's what pisses me off.
Right.
The other thing that's pissing me off is I need help with the viewers for a couple things.
Okay.
And I mean it.
Okay.
Please put it in the comments. I wanted to make it a video. I need fake eyelashes for vacation.
Cum catchers, cumbrellas.
I don't want cumbrellas. I just don't want to put mascara on vacation.
Okay.
And because I'm French Canadian and my eyes are starting to fall down like this.
You kill me every day.
And I can't, it's affecting my fucking vision.
Don't pull them like that. Your eyes looked perfect, and now you did that, and they stayed like that.
Jessica, see, I'm dying slowly like a fucking lizard eyes. Jessica, stop. You're supposed to tell me they went right back up.
They didn't. Don't pull them down like that.
Well,
don't stop. Oh my god.
So I'm gonna have to get them cut. I'm gonna get them cut. Maybe I'm gonna probably try to wait 5 more years, but most women in my
like a facelift.
Nope. They're just going to cut it's not my face that needs up. It's my skin right here.
Yeah, I understand.
These boys be tired.
I understand.
So anyway, I want some eyelashes.
The Asians usually get that, you know?
Do you know how many times in my life people have said to me,
"Are you Asian?
What are you? What are you?
Oh my God.
I got told I look like an Italian tablecloth on Valentine's Day by an old lady up at 118.
Oh, what were you wearing, Heather?
Checkered skirt that was red and white.
When we were in Italy.
I don't think she said Italian. I think that's what I thought I wanted to hear. I was drinking with my husband. She told me I look like some sort of tablecloth, like an Asian or Italian.
Oh my God, what a rude thing to say.
Even my one of my sister-in-law's family members years and years and years ago. I don't remember what she asked me what I was.
My cousin Elena is adopted from South Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Point being is that when we were in Italy, people multiple times, like strangers, would come up to her and be like, "Where are you from?" And she's like, "America." And they're like, "Yeah, but originally." And she's like, "Yeah, that's where I'm from." And then eventually we just shortcut it, and she would say South Korea. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Once we figured out what they were trying to ask, we were just like, wow. And
wow.
Yeah. And one of my reflections is just like, sometimes we talk so much in America about like unconscious bias and diversity and all this stuff, when honestly, and I do think like we
are much more progressive than the rest of the world.
Yeah,
the Italians are racist as fuck.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say like
come on.
Yeah, it's a little brutal over there.
Brutal.
Yeah.
So I need help with a couple things. I'm sweating.
Oh yeah. Can I lower the temp?
Please, God.
Yeah, because I don't want you to ruin your look.
Okay, so I need help with some fake eyelashes, but I don't want kumquats or whatever them things are called. Cumbrellas. I just want some nice, like, to keep my eyes a little more open. I need to know what to do with my eyebrows that are turning gray but are still thick. Do I get them tinted? And who do I do that with? So I need tinted eyebrows.
She's not even asking me. She's just looking straight at the camera because there's no source.
This is a public service announcement. I need to know where I can get some fake eyelashes that don't look like cumbrellas that just keep my old eyes a little more open for vacation. I would like to know how to keep the velocity of the brows. Do I get a tint to get the grays out? And who does that in Midland? I'd like preferably the same person who sticks on the eyebrows. I would like to...
Same appointment.
I want to get that bang done in one situation. Very important to me.
Yeah.
And I want to know, what fucking serum are we using, people? Are we using the CE fluoric acid from SkinCeuticals? That's $240. Are we using the Brandify on TikTok? I need estheticians. I need anybody alike to tell me, what should I be using on the skin? Because as Jessica just noted, in front of everybody, that while it may look like it's holding tight,
it does look like it's holding.
Pull my skin.
Pull it.
I want to show them. They stay like a fucking hound dog. So I need some help. I think if I got a little Botox too, it might just hold the forehead up. See, watch.
See, that's why I thought facelift.
Thank you for your expert opinion, Twat Waffle. Appreciate you.
Don't listen to me.
Before my hands were doing that, and now my hands, feel me. I feel like a lizard. Feel how clammy I am all the time. Cold and clammy.
You're hot.
Like my soul. Jessica.
You're a smoke show, Heather.
I really want to key someone's car.
Okay. When we wrap.
Can we do that?
Not mine.
Whose?
I got a list.
Me too. I just don't want to key it. I want to put like art on the side of that motherfucker. Like I want to Bob Ross it.
I want to scoop some chicken shit and leave it in their trunk when they don't notice. Yep. Got some hate in our heart too.
Yeah.
Cold and clammy like my soul.
Whoever's on Ask Midland, and I had to join 3 different... Okay, this is another thing I learned this week.
Should we call that out? That'd be so funny.
I need to call this out. You fucking twats. So I'm not on Midland Complains, I'm not on Ask Midland, and I'm not on Ask Midland 2.0 until this week.
Oh.
Was never even a member. So there's Midland Complains, there's Ask Midland, there's Ask Midland.
Midland Complains annoys the fuck out of me. Like people need.
And then you take anonymous handles, okay? You have anonymous handles.
Should not be allowed.
And then you talk about people's kids.
Yeah. Like if you need to be anonymous, maybe you shouldn't say it. Like that's what it.
Emerald Evening 795. Go fuck yourself. Pathetic poodle. You're funny. Grandma Amy went in full throttle with just Amy Smith as her full name in the comments. Shout out to Grandma Amy. We got a bigger pair of fucking tits than anybody in the comments.
That's right.
Yeah, she did. So I don't know how many people, I've never been on any of those sites, and everyone kept screenshotting.
I don't believe you. Never been on Ask Midland. Like bullshit.
Jessica, I literally just added it this week.
You left it and then came back.
Must have. But I'm not.
You probably got mad and left it one day. Like you were like, bullshit, these motherfuckers. Because some days that's what it is. I actually think Ask Midland is like a good
Midland Complains
place.
And Ask Midland 2.0.
I didn't know there was a 2.0.
I'm part of it now.
Is it because the Midland Mall now owns Ask Midland, which I feel like is a crazy takeover? Isn't that crazy? I don't know. I just think it's crazy.
Midland Mall. Don't even get me started. Don't get too big for your britches there, Jordan Doyce. Jordan Doyce. Kicking out the fucking dogs and the children. Who's going to be left? The mall walkers? They're big spenders.
Hey, don't shame them. That place has been busier than it's been in 20 years.
I'm not shaming them, but you got to loosen up. Loosen up, motherfucker. And also people
the mall, it doesn't need to be the babysitter. I don't blame him for that.
The mall's been the babysitter since Mallrats in the 80s. That's the job of the mall. Do you know how much shit my friends stole from the mall?
Interesting take.
They put like 8 bras on and walked out with him. I was like, oh my God. That's where my anxiety started, I think. I'm like, God damn it. I thought we were paying for Mountain Dew, people. Next thing you know, fucking
stealing from Victoria's
one who's
Secret.
no longer with us has got 87 bras from Victoria's Secret and a bunch of underwear.
Wow.
The mall has been a place of...
That's why.
To me, the mall, that's what makes the mall fun. I mean...
The kids running around?
Yeah, it's part of the... I mean, the kids have been acting... Get the good food. Get the arcade.
I don't have deep feelings about this one way or the other, but as an adult, I would be like, if it were my establishment, I would be a little annoyed if like
I'll tell you
things were
what.
happening.
What annoys me
there.
most going to the mall, Jessica, how people can't drive around the mall.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh, we don't want to be.
Most people who drive trucks like me too. I'm realizing that.
Yeah.
I drive a truck that most people who drive it think they own the road. A lot of people who drive trucks think they own the road.
I agree with that.
And I find it to be so fucking rude. They go, if they have any sort of with their thing, even though they're the one who had the right of way, but they're pissed because they stopped and you gave them a little flash nicely and waved. People who drive trucks are rude. Dodge especially. Sorry, guys.
I kind of agree with that. Oh no, hold on. That's who makes Ram.
Yeah, if you can't dodge it, ram it.
Yeah,
there's a kid in high school.
Exceptions to that.
There's a kid in high school who had a big Dodge truck, and it said on the back of it, "If you can't dodge it, ram it."
Yeah, that's what their. I think that was their thing. That was their actual slogan, Heather.
Okay.
It wasn't?
Yeah, I think it's a weird slogan. When I think ram, I think rail. When I think ram and rail, I think.
But it was like ram it, like horns. Mm-hmm. Ram it.
Sheep are also really fucking stupid. Really dumb. Really dumb. Like dumb if they get their head caught in a fence, they don't know enough to back out. They'll just keep ramming it forward.
Oh, yeah.
Ramming it forward.
See? That's the whole point of the slogan. But I do get what you mean. Like, it sounds sexual.
Yeah, like think about like Chevy, like a rock. Built Ford tough, like a rock. It's like Taylor Swift. New heights. You ain't gotta knock on wood.
You've heard it here first on the Stirred Up podcast. I have got the first ever fresh set hair deodorizer, odor eliminator, odor neutralizer. It will take the odor out of your hair. And guess what? It's yours truly. It is my product I've been working on for the past 9 months, and I'm really excited to bring it to you first. It is so good that it can take the smell of bonfire odor out of your hair entirely. This is kind of game changing. I know people who have told me and tried this who have said, I will skip this whole social event of the bonfire itself because I don't want to go home and have to spend an entire hour showering before I go to bed. Stirred Up listeners are getting free shipping and a free gift for the first 50 people who purchase. Go to freshsethair.com and use code StirredUpPod at checkout. My initial question is sustainability dead? What leads us to believe that sustainability is dead?
The current administration.
Yeah, me too. I think so too. So then I was trying to like ground myself in some facts here. So just because like some political movement doesn't believe in sustainability, people still do, right? Like, so where's the evidence? My research gave me like a couple of different categories of evidence. So corporate sustainability has been a real big deal for the last 10 years. 10 years ago, in 2016, it was kind of the complete wild, wild west. Like, I don't know. Can you think back? We love to think back 2016. Fetty Wap was at his peak, right? Do you remember those years when we first met? And what do you remember about corporate sustainability? Like,
dude, we were on the edge of changing the world.
Yeah, especially
green building, green science, green.
The internet called it the wild, wild west of sustainability. Today, the structure of it all is much more organized and integrated. People were setting goals. I'm kind of shocked that they like publicized some of these goals, but there was pressure to do it and investors expected it. If you didn't have these things, that was when it was starting to be like more systematically in corporate culture questioned, and people started to care, and there was a lot more about transparency. So today, all of that is like structurally, generally still happening, even in spite of like the greenhushing that the Trump administration has kind of left.
What's greenhushing?
A new term that I learned, but so greenwashing would be like if you're faking, for the listener, I know you know this deeply. If you're like faking a sustainability claim, you're greenwashing. It's not really real, but you're making a claim that appears to be as much. Greenhushing is a term that the sort of the sustainability industry or like advocates are using to describe companies like Walmart or others. Let's just say others. I don't know. I have to think about. I have
Oh,
a
that's probably
couple of
something I heard
examples.
about Target. I'm sorry. I heard they're paying to have ice come in. Like they're actually supporting it on the back end. Is that true?
Yeah, I haven't shopped there in a while.
Is that why?
Is that why I haven't shopped there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You believe that to be true, or you know it to be true?
Yeah. I've seen videos of like how it seems like, it just doesn't feel good. And they just did dumb stuff in the last year that I'm just shocked about. But yeah, I do think
Target
they're working
is
together.
Target might be an interesting one. Okay, I write it down. Keep going.
Okay. Greenhushing is like companies like maybe Target, or probably absolutely Target or Walmart, who are doing all of the things that they set out in their, what does ESG stand for? Environmental sustainability goals. That's it. Mm-hmm. Their ESG goals, which is like a pretty like standard corporate term at this point now. Most companies have ESG goals if they're publicly traded. They're doing all of the things, but they kind of rebranded. They're calling it just like corporate responsibility or something else, or not talking about it at all. Like they'll disclose it, but they're not putting it on, press releases. They're not making a big bang about it like they would have for the last 10 years. They're just greenhushing. They're doing it because in some cases it makes sense. So one of the examples that I learned about was for Ford. It makes still a lot of sense for them to, the goals that they have set for themselves actually support their supply chain or make it possible so that they have more foresight to anything. So like if there would be like foresight into what could be lawsuits for damage later on or shutdowns or things that would affect their operations. Some of the examples that I saw that I didn't honestly fully understand so much, but I just kind of trusted like the way that they were talking about it made a lot of sense, that they've set their goals up, not so much in what the criticism of sustainability has been like. It's more ideological of like this almost greenwashing sort of thing of like, oh, we're just so good. But like the way that Ford has set it up is I'm not just doing good to be good. I'm doing good to earn well. Like it's a part of its whole operations. So it makes sense that everything that they've learned over the past decade or more from a sustainability perspective in their ESG goals, they have continued to do, because it does make sense. They're just not disclosing it in the same way that they might have from a publicity perspective.
And was it ever a thing, and what did we do wrong? Because you hear so much bullshit about recycling. Remember when we did reduce, reuse, recycle? Remember when we did that episode? I almost wonder if that piece, like global warming.
So that's what it's like.
Change,
why does it matter? Why
oceans,
does it matter?
Animals, trees.
This is the part where I'll probably read more than I want to.
Read it to me. I'll close my eyes.
Okay, so I did some like, why does it matter? Mm-hmm. Should it matter? Because who cares if
should what matter?
Yeah. So is sustainability dead, and should we care? Okay. It's like what I kind of think the message is. The World Meteorological Organization projects that the 5-year period in the next 5 years, so 2025 is when this started, so in 5 years after 2025, has a 70% chance of averaging temperatures above the 1.5 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial levels. That's a whole bunch of science talk for like the climate is warming, has warmed since pre-industrial times. And the pre-industrial part is the pollution piece, greenhouse gases, all of that. And meteorologists, the Organization of Meteorologists says there's a 70% chance that it's also going to increase 1.5 degrees.
Is that across the board or only certain areas?
No, that's global.
Okay.
Global temperature number. This isn't just a number. Every fraction of a degree increases the frequency of compound events. So every fraction of a degree increases the frequency of where droughts, heat waves, and floods strike simultaneously. So imagine we just had a loss of, like we were in a drought last year. We had to get a whole new well, and then a heat wave being at the same time, or a heat wave and a flood, or a hurricane event and a flood. Like the amount of simultaneous extreme events driven by increased climate is a concern that meteorologists are saying. Well,
I think you can even look at it in business too. Like if you look at like extreme weather, like that's if you're in building and construction, we talk about those types of things all the time.
Yes.
I guess we probably always have, but it'd be interesting to see.
it is in the like hundreds of billions or maybe close to $1 trillion. I can't remember what the number is. I'll have to find it. Spent on recovery efforts from disasters. And I thought, honestly, like, what if we make global disasters, these weather events, might they be spurring the economy? Because then you have to rebuild. So I like probed into the theory of that, and there's actually a name for it. Of course, I don't remember what it is, but it's false. It's saying that it doesn't actually spur new economic growth. It's an opportunity cost that you could have if a flood wiped out a whole community like it did Sanford, locally here when we had the flood that we had, we could have spent all of that money on something else. But instead, we had to rebuild what already existed. So you're just constantly trying to, like, every time a national disaster happens or an environmental disaster like that happens.
So as a homeowner, how do you think about that? If you were to put it into context for the viewer, you and Matt have a honey pot for, let's just say it's not the boat or the extra house. It's the things you want to do
like
here.
Put it into a well.
And then a natural disaster happens and it's a well. How do you think about that shift of funds?
So that's a great example. So that's like a localized example. Yeah, because, okay, so
And what does that do to your overall plan for your city and for your homestead?
So we intended to use the money that we had spent on a well.
Break it down from the beginning. I think this is important.
Yeah.
What are you saying that type of
this example
problem does to a city, a community? You're not really making your homestead better. You're sustaining what you already had.
Yeah.
And what does that do over time?
So, okay, that's a really great way to frame it. I hadn't thought about that. So we had spent like $15,000, $20,000 on a well last year to get water back into our house. That money was set aside for us to buy up north land. We were looking for a lake house or like lake nearish property up north that we might be able to build on one day. And that plan is now completely on the back burner until we can resupplement those funds. And we had to use that to just get water back. So that was the opportunity cost, right? So if we had not had to spend money on a well because of a drought, we would have spent that on a second place. So for us, that is like, you're at a loss of something there, even economically in the system. Like that might have invested in the community a little bit more, like just more people being able to do more things. So the same thing on a level of a city. That's a super interesting perspective. So the city got wiped away from a big flood, nearby
They probably have money set aside for new sidewalks or a new flower garden or to improve the children's center. And then what happens?
And then a flood came. And then
what happened?
And all of these buildings got washed away. Houses got completely washed away. And even if the city couldn't locally fund those repairs, the state had to come in and fund those. And now we complain about our roads not having been repaired, or we complain about all of the things that we complain about, that we don't have enough money to fund schools and some of the things that we do, because we had to use those funds allocated from our taxes to pay for natural disasters and the repairs of those natural disasters. So that's a big bummer, I think.
It's a major bummer.
I think it's a big bummer. The other thing,
it's never an adventure, is the way you framed your lack of water. Basically a crisis, start to end.
I cried a little bit on air. The other thing I just want ice. Bring me ice. The ice is a reoccurring problem, but we do have ice. I did learn another new thing. This is new to me. I actually learned a lot of new things in this research, but this was one of my first new things. Biodiversity loss is a systematic financial risk. What the fuck does that mean?
Well, yeah, what's biodiversity?
So what's
biodiversity, Jessica?
Most businesses depend on, like, quote unquote, the natural contributions of things like pollination, water, and flood protection. So let's again think about it in super simple terms. If the farmers can't grow a crop because the bees aren't pollinating, or the rain isn't raining, or it flooded too much, or it's a drought, or whatever, and the corn doesn't grow, and then that corn doesn't go into feeding the chickens or the beef, and then our beef rises in price. Now it's doubled the price that it was even a year ago, I think.
How much is a pound of beef?
We we have a freezer full, so I don't go shopping for beef, but I think it's in the
That's why I'm asking.
$7 a pound. Yeah, I think it's like
$7 a pound.
I think it is. We'll have to look. I don't know. We should fact check that. There are concerns about like the hidden costs of the whole system. And you can think of when you just look at corn and what all of the things that corn goes into, the whole system of it all, then ends up increasing in costs everywhere, right? I thought that was really interesting. I had not thought about that. Recent studies show that for every $1 invested in climate adaptation, like flood defenses or drought-resistant crops, it yields an average of $10 in economic benefits. But conversely, failing to act is projected to cut 4% off global annual GDP by 2050 due to disaster-related losses. That's huge.
What's GDP, Jessica?
Tell us, Heather.
Well, it's like the rate of growth. I like it.
Do it.
I did all the talking last year.
Last year you did a whole talking
last episode. And then I told you to stop interrupting me. Quit asking me fucking questions.
I'm trying to set it up so we can chit chat.
I'm ready.
Okay,
I have I guess I do think we should buy less shit. I just do. I'm also thinking, is my mind wrapped of like, what is the commodity of a cow? And like, as we talked about like living off the land earlier, like, do we just need a couple cows, couple chickens, couple like some milk?
I'm leaning every day more and more like being a little commune. I raise the chickens, you raise the cows and the pigs, and we go through this whole little cycle, and you do the sewing and I'll do some cooking. Oh my gosh, look at who joined us.
Salty little bitch. Hi, lover. Oh,
Could be salty.
So I'm just thinking about, okay, so keep going. Because
like much of what I just...
One of my boys can eat a whole pound of beef in one sitting, and that doesn't include the cheese, the lettuce, the bun, the maybe the guac, like the bacon.
Yeah, I don't even have old kids, and now we're starting to double the amount of food we're making. Like I'm starting to... What?
Groceries. We're going to do American grocery bills.
I love when you get ideas.
Groceries, Red Light Therapy, Quince, Target, Ford, GM, Chevy, Cadillac, the big three, Michigan companies, Josh and the guy from the other podcast in the UK.
So all of the things that I just gave you are more like really global, systemic, climate warming. There's a whole bunch of other aspects, and I'm going to get into some of them that are not global warming related, but are an aspect of health, environmental safety for people. We're going to make it really close to home. Really crazy stuff, Heather. Like, I just cannot wait to get into it. But, so we're going to have to bridge some of these things. So I think, like, there's some skepticism as to whether or not... No, there's not some skepticism. There is intense skepticism as to whether or not the things that we're doing are driving climate change.
There's been skepticism since Al Gore made a claim back in the fucking Clinton administration.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is no question that the climate is warming.
Puma.
The question is what's driving it, right? There is more to like what is sustainability than just climate change, but we can obviously see that that's a big one. And if we do believe, which I do.
Running out of space, do you think?
No, I don't think we are. I think we're running out of usable space. Fair. Like
you do?
Maybe. Maybe. So the space that we have available in some cases might not be buildable, or you can't access it, or people don't want to live there and you need employees. Like, I do think that the space that is available becomes challenged, but no, I don't really believe that we're like truly running out of space. Okay. So if I do believe that we make decisions in our lives, like the way that we behave as a society does affect climate. I think COVID was a really good example, an interesting little accidental experiment on climate, because when we stopped doing all of the things like the pollution stopped, we didn't see an increase in global temperature, or it slowed, or whatever the metric was. So to me, that's evidence. Sometimes I also do believe, and we've said it before on the podcast, the sustainability investment is like number 8 on the priority list. Like, housing affordability is more important than saving the climate, maybe right now. Maybe. I don't know. I think it becomes really tricky. But I do think it's really hard to make the case to care about a 1.5 degree change in climate as a human, as a citizen, as a single person.
And how long? How much was that?
That's in the next 5 years that it's going to increase by 1.5%.
1.5.
I think it's hard to like make an individual person care about that when groceries are so expensive that I'm going to start making choices about whether or not I'm going to invest in groceries or I'm going to let my kid do travel sports this year. Like,
facts.
You know what I mean? I think that it becomes...
Slow it down, groceries.
Yeah, I think it becomes hard to make the case. So that's why I still think that like companies need to do that for us. They have the biggest needle moving choices that they can make, and the most influential ones are almost always right now. A lot of them are American companies. So an example, Walmart in 2016 launched a project called Project Gigaton. They were aiming to eliminate 1 billion tons of emissions from its value chain. In 2024, they surpassed the 1 billion ton goal 6 years ahead of schedule. So they achieved it 6 years faster than they intended to. Huge congratulations. I think that's really exciting. That was 2024. However, since hitting that milestone, they have shifted from avoiding. So what their goal was, Project Gigaton, was to avoid these emissions. So they'd make efficiency gains, but they were still doing the thing. Like they were still putting emissions out there into the world. They're now pushing participation of their 6,000 suppliers to participate in this, which is, I think, again, a needle moving decision and advocacy. However, they have recently announced that their overall carbon footprint has grown so much because of their expansion of business and aging infrastructure and other problems that they're not going to make their overall carbon footprint goals. And I'm like, when I read this in the news article, I'm like, I just don't get this. So I put this information into ChatGPT and I
broke
was like,
that shit down.
And I was like, talk to me, like make this simpler, like explain this to me. This is so complicated. So this is interesting. So think of like, because I have switched to LED lights, this is ChatGPT, so I'll just not take credit. Because I have switched to LED lights in my factory, I emitted 10 tons less than I would have otherwise. So that's the avoidance. But because Walmart added 10 more buildings, so just because they are 10 tons less in that one building, they've now added 10 buildings. So maybe the amount of emissions they were originally producing was 100 tons and they reduced it by 10, but now it's 90 tons, but they've added 10 buildings. So now their emissions are 9 times.
Do you think it's because it was lack of transparency or you think it was ill intent or just lack of strategic foresight?
No, it wasn't. No, it was just
lack of strategic foresight to the cause versus the effect.
I actually think it's just because profits are more important than sustainability.
But did they know when they did that very well that popping up the building was actually going to cause more energy consumption, or do you think they didn't care?
I don't think they cared. I think the person who makes the decision about popping up the building and that's like the loudest voice in the room when you're growing.
So your footprint starts to, okay.
And then you get to a place where you're like checking in on your sustainability goals, and the guy who's in charge of the sustainability, because let's be honest, it's going to be a guy in the C-suite. Maybe it's a girl, but probably not. And that guy, because this is how it works in corporate. So let's pretend we're in Walmart's C-suite. Johnny up here says, hey Sam, because Sam
Walton.
started. Yeah, get it. Hey Sam.
Walton, hey Sammy boy.
Hey Sam, we're growing so much, we need to add more factories, but when we add, well, not factories, we need to add more warehouses, but when I add more warehouses, every warehouse you add, you're going to make another $1 billion. So the ROI is crazy. We'll be able to do it in less than 10 years.
We're all going to get filthy rich.
Yes, and we're all going to get filthy rich because that's how these things get made. And
that's how the tariffs are kicking it back.
Yeah, and then Eddie over here comes in and says, whoa, whoa, whoa. And we're in our board meeting or we're in our quarterly meeting because like Eddie wasn't invited to all of the business decisions made about growing. His job is just make sure that we're
What do you mean business decisions about growing,
Yeah,
Jessica?
his job is just to reduce. His job isn't about growing. So when decisions are being made about adding warehouses, they probably have some rules about efficiency in light bulbs and they're doing a good job and they're meeting Project Gigaton, but nobody's thinking about the bigger picture until Eddie comes in and says, hey, actually, this is going to cause a huge problem to our overall sustainability goals. And they're like, yeah, well, stock price is up, cash is coming in. We're going to figure out how we're going to handle those sustainability goals because they're still doing a pretty good job. But like, yeah, we're not going to make that goal. Like, that's how I think those conversations get had.
Yeah. Okay. If you think about the macro picture of like what all the big businesses and companies in the globe, like, is there a piece of like what can we as people control and not control? I mean,
that's the problem. I don't think we can. I think it's so big picture. So we're gonna get one next thing in because I just want to like address that. My message is corporate decisions are going to make the bulk of the decision.
Who makes corporate decisions?
Walmart, Facebook, Google, Amazon, like just CVS. Anybody who is publicly traded, absolutely. Anybody who's making billions of dollars or more, absolutely. All of these companies who have buying power and authority to make those decisions.
Like, well, they're also doing a bunch of regulatory and a bunch of advocacy and a bunch of all the things.
Yeah, so I'm going to hit regulatory next. So that was basically, so a couple of just hot
I'm getting like the frozen shoulder because I got so worked up today.
Like pissed. So, greenhushing and corporate reversals. In late 2024 and 2025, companies like Coca-Cola and Nestle, I don't have the Nestle example, but Coca-Cola, for example, dropped its goal to divert 3.3 million tons of virgin plastic by 2025. They just eliminated the goal altogether, quietly, but people found out. So this pushes all of its circularity initiatives back, like they're not even addressing it. In 2025, Wells Fargo made waves by eliminating its net zero goal that it had. So just literally, again, like deleted it, no longer important. Barclays and BlackRock, big private equity, have stepped back from high-profile climate alliances like the net zero asset mergers initiative, citing the need to prioritize fiduciary duties over ideological targets. Mm. That sounds kind of pissy.
Sounds like a narcissistic comment.
I agree. You'll see in a moment, I can talk about the regulatory situation. And if we get into the details of that, the current administration uses the word ideological targets as a claim. Like that, they just say that like sustainability in the EPA, the bloated EPA organization, addresses
Environmental Protection Agency.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's like the big thing that we're going to talk about next. So what they're saying is ideological targets are these big 1.5 degree climate warming. Like they think climate warming, what they're claiming is climate warming is ideological. Like it's just like a nice to have feel good feeling when the reality is
it's the icing on the cake.
That's what they're kind of saying. It's like some big high pie in the sky because not one of us can make a needle moving decision. We have to collectively make a needle moving decision, and they're walking away from it. So then all the decisions that anybody could make from a climate perspective become less and less and less impactful. And then we have a warming climate.
So should we just be running our water and running our appliances and buying all the things and
whatever you want?
Fuck it.
Whatever you want.
Throw your trash in your back fucking yard.
Of course not, but people will. Okay, so regulatory
Buy less dolls, Jessica. That's what the president told us.
Susie needs 3 dolls, not 30. Whatever.
I think that might be true.
Yeah, but that's a whole different problem. Like, that's not even the real problem here. Not even close to the problem.
I understand.
I know. Today. Okay, so the Trump administration, I have pages. We want to.
Give me the cliff note.
The cliff note is the EPA. This is the part that I'm getting upset about because I then got into a crazy rabbit hole. And that's the conclusion of our story. Will be the crazy rabbit hole. But
says someone who tells me she's not doing that much things researching because it upsets her. You did 48 pages
and I
of
was
notes.
upset.
I get the balance though. You're like, if I'm going to do that, I can't take anything else.
Yeah.
Rainbows and motherfucking Lisa. See, that's what you need to do. Lisa Frank pillowcase. That was the whole point. The whole point of Lisa Frank pillowcase is have this beautiful room. And when that's not doing it for you, take out that fucking pillowcase.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Okay? Jessica? Told you. Balance that shit out. I'm proud of you, but that's enough to fucking
Heather,
make someone very upset.
Heather, we haven't even gotten to the half of it.
And my fucking face hurts.
We haven't even gotten to the half of it. You're gonna leave here crying again. I'm so sorry. Oh, no. I was about to. Okay. All right. So the EPA, maybe you won't be crying. Maybe I'm being dramatic. The EPA is an environmental regulatory agency, environmental protection agency. Is that what we described that it was?
Do they actually protect?
Yeah, I think they do try. Well, they're being cut. Their budget's being cut by almost 60%. Thousands of people have been or will be let go. They will not be able to protect much longer. So the Trump administration, and I can't even just say the Trump administration because it is by and large most of the Republican Party has continued to support the fact that they believe the EPA, and this is also, I've thought about this a lot. I'm not going to get mad about this because this is a political statement. This isn't like abusing the Constitution, which the Trump administration does. And I get really pissed off if someone's going to defend.
You can't say "We the Free" on your fucking t-shirts if you are not actually upholding what
freedom
the other right?
Yes. So I get really upset when it's no longer political, but this is political. So I'm not going to get upset about it. You're going to see my opinion. There's nothing I can do about that. But I also understand that some of these are just political choices, and I will respect it as such. So this whole topic really is, but it does hit home, and I'm going to explain why. So the EPA is being completely gutted. Like 90% of the initiatives that went towards clean water is being gutted. 56% or almost 60% of the entire organization funding is being slashed. And what happens when they don't have resources, then they can't follow up on areas that have been impacted. And a lot of these are like chemical spills or
like what happened right here in Midland when we did dioxin cleanup.
This is exactly right.
So
this is the
tie it back to the viewer. Here we go. So what happened here, Jessica? What river do you live in front of, Jessica?
So this is exactly where it's at. So I said,
why is that shit important?
As I was going through, like, I was asking
our natural resources.
So I'm going back and forth of like,
Bitches.
as I'm researching this, I'm reading like national
conservative to me.
No. Listen, I was reading like national news reporting all of these cuts, and I'm like trying to say what's the impact here. So I'm going between like these news articles and basically like ChatGPT that is giving me like these even deeper sources that were harder to find. And what it came down to was that what will be somewhat supported, the most supported, is Superfund sites that are contaminated places in the United States. And I thought, okay, wow.
Aaron Brockovich type shit, dioxin and Dow type shit.
Absolutely.
Tragic. Like, we've got to defend, probably if you look at the P&L, it's like, okay, well, it'll cost us less to actually invest in this than what they could sue us for because the data is there that it's super corrupt and we've got to do something.
So much of the EPA goes towards
crisis
resourcing these top priority sites. These could be decades old. This is the thing that I was so shocked by. So there are over 1,300 active Superfund sites on the national priority list across the United States. And that's exactly what I said. A lot of it is in Pennsylvania. There's actually an entire town in Pennsylvania that's like burning from the underground because of everything that has been poisoned.
Why don't we hear about that?
I know.
Don't we hear about that,
so then I said, hey, chat, I'm in Michigan.
I wish I could travel to the site. On-site reporting.
Okay, so we will.
I have to pee.
We will. No. Right now you have to?
Don't hold it, please.
Take a break. That's what I want to do too. I want to go to, and I've already contacted somebody.
I have a truck.
Well, now we're going to go to a Superfund site of poison. What a party. So as of today, there are 1,300 active Superfund sites on the national priority list across the United States. A lot of these things are like Pennsylvania, there's Texas, like Michigan wasn't on the list, but obviously I'm thinking I care about myself and my family. So I said, okay, well, what about Michigan? Michigan has 65 active Superfund sites. And as I'm going through this, I'm doing like a ChatGPT experience. I did not say where I live other than the fact that I live in Michigan, or like that I was specifically asking about Michigan. So 65 active Superfund sites. There's an organization called Eagle. They are tracking over 27,000 brownfield sites where past industrial use has left behind contamination that may not be a federal Superfund priority, but still affects local land and water. 27,000 brown land, and then 65 active federal priority Superfund sites in Michigan. You just hit yourself?
Oh, so hard on my cheekbone.
I'm so sorry.
With the least amount of elasticity in my face. That part. Oh, look at how red it is. Okay, anyway, keep going.
So the number one spot is the Tittabawassee River and the Saginaw Bay.
Yes.
Because of decades of contamination from the Dow Chemical Company.
Yes.
Another major spot. So one thing I will just say is that the Dow Chemical Company is still a company that exists and is alive and well. And I can say from my experience, having
this generation's done everything we could to clean this shit up.
Yes. And it makes a ton of responsible choices to clean it up. Upstream on the Pine River, did you know about the St. Louis chemical site?
No.
Okay. From 1930-something to 1978.
Why is the Chippewa River agnostic of all of this, or is it not?
They come from different places. Like upstream, just nothing was happening in Mount Pleasant that just happened to poison
your
it.
river?
That's what I'm going to tell you about right now. So St. Louis chemical plant led to one of Michigan's biggest environmental disasters when the flame retardant PBB was added to livestock feed. Why would you add PBB to livestock feed? This PBB contaminated site in St. Louis is at risk of stalled progress because of the EPA cuts, because they won't have the resources, the oversight, the funding.
If nobody's lobbying for it, then it's not going to move.
Correct. And there's not.
If you don't have a Mr. Kepler, if you don't have a Dave Kepler like you did for the Sanford Dam, y'all are fucked.
Yes. So there's not somebody. There's
and
not
a bunch of, I just want to call it Dave, a bunch of other really amazing people like Fisher Company. Like, okay.
Yeah.
It blends public and personal for me. So.
Yeah. I want it to be like.
The point is, though, if you don't have somebody lobbying, a citizen,
and an active organization. So there's not a chemical
Great Lakes
company.
Task Force.
There's not an active company sitting at the top of this river here. They foreclosed. They filed bankruptcy in 1978. So Veliscol Chemical Corporation, which was formerly Michigan Chemical, dumped toxic waste, including DDT, PBBs, and HBBs, which are all forever chemicals, directly in Michigan's Pine River, which is the river we're sitting in front of right now.
Okay, I do another camera watch. I take a video. Go ahead, Jessica.
This decades-long discharge created a massive environmental crisis, leading to the river being declared a Superfund site and require hundreds of millions of dollars in ongoing remediation. And I was like, holy shit. So because they filed for bankruptcy, taxpayers have to pay this. And the organization that funds this is through the EPA or the state of Michigan. In this case.
Is the current problem with the Pine River, Jess, or did they clean it up because it was funded years ago and that's the only reason this river is clean, or is it still gross, or that we don't have further testing, or what's happening?
No, let me tell you. Okay. So there have been hundreds of thousands of tons of soil removed from the site. But because this is a forever chemical, I didn't even understand this. Like
it's like all of us having Teflon in our body. It's just like the DuPont Blackwaters. It's a forever chemical. You're never going to get rid of it, truly.
So kind of like the soil in the fish, but the river might be clear of it because it's a moving stream of things. So wherever that chemical in the river landed might be where it's at. It might be in the soil, but it's probably not going to be in the water. One reason I can tell you is because we've had otters, and otters are very sensitive to pollution. And I believe very deeply that this water is clean. But the fish in it are fish that are generations poisoned. Like they've come from grandparent fish that were completely poisoned. The same thing with the deer that eat from poisoned land, and the people who were exposed to this and then had babies, if they could, because their birth defects were a big issue, and cancer.
Why do you think that property is so cheap in Freeland? I think about all my friends who I'm not trying to be funny. It's comedic. You're laughing, Jessica.
Tragedy. Think about comedy.
Think about all of the kids that you know who had cancer. Where did they live? High school area. So I was like, area, Poseyville.
Dude, my whole thing was like,
Poseyville.
This happened decades ago. It doesn't matter. So
watch Dark Waters because of what they did.
I did watch that,
but we all have Teflon in our body. Every single one of us today, just like the fish, have that chemical in our body.
So then I just thought, like, this is a thing that we have to live with. I didn't think there was like active stuff going on. So what's happening? All of that investment to downtown, that like the riverfront downtown, that's capping these poisoned soils. Like, you can't build on that. You can't let people really like play in the soil. It's the problem is the soil right now. It's not so much the water. Okay, it's the soil. And then the fish who've eaten from that soil.
All right, but if you take a shit in a toilet and I don't know, it's brushing across it.
Yeah, but the water is like new water every day, I guess, is part of my point. So, like, the water is, sure, yes, the water is going to be touching the soil, so for sure. But what you're getting it from, like, you shouldn't be drinking the water, I don't think. But you should, apparently, it's not even safe to eat more than one fish a year out of the Tedwasi River.
No way, we never do.
Oh, the Saginaw Bay. People go fishing, walleye fishing in the Saginaw Bay all the time.
Can I tell you something?
I've been eating my dad's fish fry fish for years out of the Saginaw Bay.
No way.
Yeah, way.
It's like the story when I told you that people in my house just lit things on fire. You're like, no way. And I'm like, way. That's how I'm looking at you at this very moment.
So there's a guy in St. Louis. I have reached out. His name is Gary Smith. He's been running an organization since 1998 because they've basically been a watchdog.
We need to talk to Gary.
I know. I reached out. So he
just show up at his house.
Well, I think we should just show up in St. Louis is what I'm saying. Like, that's the site visit that I think we need to do.
St. Louis to Alabama, Chi-Town, New York City.
He said because these chemical companies don't exist anymore, there's not somebody that they can hold accountable, so they need state or federal resources to keep the project moving. Mm-hmm. They've got anywhere between 8 to 15 years left on the project to make it safe for the local community. Like, that's crazy. And we are the local community here. Like, that is so crazy. Isn't that crazy? I just could not get over that. I had no idea that it was still a real problem. I really didn't. I had no idea it was still, like, such a real problem. So if the EPA gets cut because they're saying states need to deal with it, and if states have to deal with it, then what's the trade-off that states are going to have to make in the budget, right? Like, if we want roads, but then we've got the St. Louis community over here with cancer, and babies are born with birth defects if they're born at all. Like, that's really crazy. That's really sad. Like, we have to take care of our communities.
100%. All the progress we've made because of the investment, when it's stunned like that, like, it's kind of like the thing about the tales of the cities, right? Like you said, okay, the same analogy, the same conversation we had, right? If you have a reserve of money that you want to make things better with, but you're constantly using it to sustain.
To put out fire, a literal fire.
That compounds over time in the overall sustainability of the city, because you're not actually able to make up, right? You're like, you're filling holes in the pipes.
Sustainability actually means. That's the word sustainability actually means.
So when you sit on something and you made all this progress, then it gets defunded.
Yeah.
Does that problem compound, right? You haven't tested the water in 5 years. You haven't done the scrapes. You have. Is that why you think?
Or you're not even going.
Is that why? Also, do you think they put that little bridge over so nobody could grow on that soil?
Maybe. I don't have any idea. I have like way more suspicions about everything now. Like, I just had no idea. I don't know. But the whole construction, like capping the poisoned soil.
It's good though to do.
That's the best case scenario. Take it out and take soil out, but you got to put it somewhere. Like, you're just taking poisoned soil out and putting it where, you know what I mean? So the best thing you're going to be able to do is like keep it from being accessible.
So what do? We don't know what to do. Lobby? Local government?
Well, the only other perspective I wanted to give, because remember I said this is a political point, and I can make this really brief if you'd like, and you can talk about it as much as you want. But I said this is a political point.
Alyssa wants us to paint that purple.
Yeah, she said she'd do it for us. This is a political point. So what's the other side of this political discussion saying? And I really wanted to understand that. So I have, again, like pages of Republicans exclusively basically saying this is common sense. EPA is a bloated organization. This is common sense return to the individuals. They argue, the people who believe that the EPA should be a reduction in funding, claims that this is like a hidden tax on society. So the White House fact sheet says that EPA regulations add $2,000 to the cost of the car. What they just recently rolled back was the auto start. You know how when you stop at a stoplight, your car turns off? That's a regulation. They're going to take that out as a regulation, apparently. That also apparently saves a whole bunch of greenhouse gas emissions because a sitting car is just like putting out stuff. But they claim that stuff like that adds $2,000 to the cost of car. I would also just go back to the fact that tariffs added at least $10,000 to the cost of a car. So if we really care about putting money back in people's pockets, I think it's like...
And where's the tariff money going, Jessica? Back to the top of the house where we probably weren't recording.
Yeah,
who's getting the tariff
the richest fucking people ever.
The businesses, yeah.
They also claim that there's an increased cost of goods sold by increasing the cost of semi-trucks. They're like really obsessed with cars due to the reduced emissions. Like they say it's like $11,000 per household over 10 years. Isn't that a funny math equation? Instead of just saying like
$1,000 a year, $900
yeah, but they wanted like the bigger number, but hiding the fact that 10 years. So I said, is there even any evidence to support this? The only thing that I could find, and I had never heard of this consulting company, but it was NERA. So it's not even like an organization.
I know, NERA.
NERA. So is it credible?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So it's credible. So they said that the Clean Power Plan style regulations, which like drives much everything away from coal to anything clean, wind, solar, whatever, they projected that it's about 11% increase in electricity costs for 43 states.
It's everyone's bitching about their electricity bills on like Ask Midland. Nobody complains.
This is a data center problem, not really like so. But clean energy is attributed to 11% of that is the point. So that's the only item that I can. So maybe we can roll back. Like maybe we can be really surgical about this. That's an electrical grid thing, not car. The White House is totally focused on cars, which is
why
I don't know. But why does anything? I don't know. I just couldn't find anything. So I at least wanted to represent that point. My point in counter to all of that is like, if we really care about putting money back in the citizens' pockets, then we wouldn't have done tariffs the way that we did. I think this administration cares only about big companies that they are personally friends with. And it is a really big corrupt power scheme that's why weird CEOs are going and presenting gold-plated awards to the president on TV. Like, it is the weirdest fucking thing that does not happen in America.
No, I think it does happen in America. Now it's just happening on public display. It used to happen in country clubs behind closed doors, and it still does. Now it's open for all of us, so we could look at that as a blessing. We look at it as an opportunity to fucking call it out, but we got to do something about it.
Fair enough. But when it happens behind closed doors, there's an opportunity for somebody to have enough balls to be able to counter to somebody. But when you're on a grand stage with
They don't, though, Jessica.
Some of them do. I watch Landman. You watch Landman, and you tell me.
I do. Most people don't. They know they want to play the game. Because if you play the game, you stay safe, and everyone's worried about themselves. It's a fact.
So what do we do? The message to me.
I am buying less. I am learning how to do more by myself. I am paying attention to where I buy from. I am sitting on this podcast calling it out with you. Like right now, I feel like I'm doing.
So is sustainability dead?
I hope not.
No,
but maybe.
We have to conclude. Is sustainability dead?
No, I refuse to believe it.
Me too. Cheers. Those extra cents that we pick up in the day, whether it's the workout, whether it's travel, whether it's cooking, this is just not a job for hair fragrances, hair mists, and dry shampoo. This is a job for a fresh set. It will reset your hair odor so you don't have to rewash. I knew I needed to create something that allowed people like all of us here at StirredUp, and I know our listeners are a lot of the same type of lifestyle where we are busy. We don't have time to reset between all of the activities. It's a high energy life. And without that hair hangover from the last activity, we can now move on with the freedom and the confidence that we're not bringing hair odors with us. Go to freshsethair.com StirredUp.com and use code StirredUpPod at checkout. Thank you for listening to Stirred Up. If you like what you heard, please subscribe. Check us out on YouTube. Follow us on your podcast apps. Please send it to a friend. Leave a comment. Add a rating. Every little bit helps. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Beats.